see, since Harry wants to see a clip from the church, let's take a look at what happened in the church.
Let us stand together. Oh, at the cross, where I first saw light.
He has no idea what he's doing there, Harry. He has no idea. Oh my gosh. It's actually really disturbing to watch Joe Biden in public these days. He doesn't know where he is or what he's doing. He's president of the United States. We're now told he has to go to bed, early. He can't be up, working past 4 o'clock in the afternoon because he's too elderly and infirm.
So, Piers Morgan keeps lying and talking about how Joe Biden doesn't know where he is, he's lost, doesn't know what time of day it is, or whatever it is. But before I comment on Piers Morgan's dishonesty and others who talk like him, I'm not a Joe Biden fan. I've made many videos attacking Joe Biden. I don't think he should have been elected president in the first place. I definitely don't think he should be elected now. However, compared to the alternative, absolutely, I would take Joe Biden in a corpse over Donald Trump any day. I would much rather alternative candidates. I wish the American people were with me on that we switch to an alternative candidate who's younger than Joe Biden. That's what I would like. But unfortunately, the American people are apparently not with me. That's what the polls are showing. The American people, in terms of the Democratic voters, Biden's the guy that they want, no matter how, whatever is happening right now. It is what it is. But I'm not a fan of Joe Biden. I'm not a Joe Biden defender. In fact, I have a very negative view of Joe Biden now. Talk to me even 2 months ago, I would say that Joe Biden and Donald Trump have significant mental issues in terms of cognitive issues, dementia issues. I have people in my family with dementia, so I know what that looks like. Talk to me now, I think that Joe Biden has fallen below Donald Trump. I think Donald Trump is better cognitively speaking than Joe Biden. So it's going to be very clear what my stance is. So with that being said, and also I don't think he is even capable of, like people say, the thing he needs to do is go out there and do a bunch of events and do a bunch of interviews. I think that's disastrous. I don't think he's capable of doing a bunch of interviews and doing campaign events in a way that would be compelling or dispel people's concerns. I think his best approach is to stay in the basement, right? And, well, not just that, but doing teleprompter speeches, I think he's still got that in him. Carefully timed, everything needs to be strategic, make sure he gets full sleep, make sure he's fully hydrated, whatever you need to do, everything needs to be completely strategically planned to where you get the best out of him, which is him on a teleprompter, the American people, blah, blah. I think that's the only thing you can get out of Joe Biden right now, right? So I don't have any faith in him right now. And again, I put his cognitive state below below Donald Trump. That being said, Piers Morgan is a liar and a fraud. He has been lying about many, many things, but let's stay on topic, specifically the talking point of Joe Biden doesn't know where he is. I'm gonna perfectly illustrate how dishonest Piers Morgan is. Again, I'm the guy who recognizes that Joe Biden is in a bad state. You heard everything I just said. I'm not gonna repeat it. So, saying that, I believe that there's tons of evidence to demonstrate those points to show Joe Biden's cognitive state. There's tons of powerful, very clear evidence that he's having some serious issues. So with that being said, why does Piers Morgan still choose to lie? And the thing about it is, many Americans lack critical thinking, so they're probably wondering what's the lie that he told. What about a video of an old guy sitting in a chair at a church, looking like an old guy sitting in a chair at a church, presents in any way that he was lost or didn't know what he's doing? I mean, am I the only one that has an elderly person as a parent? I mean, do you have 80-year-old plus people in your family that it would be shocking to see them, candidly caught on camera, looking bizarre and potentially even confused, right? I mean, that's the thing that old people do, right? But again, an old guy sitting looking like an old guy, it is in no way any indication of him not knowing where he is. Like, the thing about it is, it's just, you're saying things with no basis whatsoever, no evidence whatsoever, just simply throwing stuff out there. There's Biden, looking, he doesn't know where he is. And some people say I'm reading too much into this, hyperbolic or whatever. Listen, man, if you're in the news media and you're talking about something that is as sensitive as this, I think words have meanings, and you need to be very, very careful in terms of how you phrase things and how you word things, especially knowing how a lot of people lack critical thinking. You do not want to go out there presenting an image, because as bad as I think Joe Biden is, I do not think he's as bad to the level of not knowing where he is and just being lost, right? Sitting in an invisible chair or giving a thumbs up to nobody. He's not quite there. That's a much higher level. If you are saying that that's where Joe Biden is, then that means that you're saying that, you know, he needs help to find the bathroom. He sometimes forgets that he's even the president. Sometimes he's talking about, and I've had family members that get this level where they get totally lost in time, and they'll be, you know, talking about, I thought we are going to go visit, my nephew today. And, you know, maybe the nephew's dead already, or the nephew lives in a completely different state and there was no plan or talk about visiting them. It's like, what are you talking about? Like, to put Joe Biden at a much more severe state than he actually is, even though the state that he's in is pretty bad as it is, because he's the president of the United States, right? One of the most powerful countries in the world. This is the leader of the United States of America. It's bad enough that he can't even seem to communicate effectively and clearly, getting his points across. He just seems so weak, and he's just not, you know, on top of things in terms from a leadership perspective, right? Now, in terms of just being an average Joe, you know, somebody working at a I don't know, at a supermarket bagging groceries, or just some low level, low stress, low responsibility, he's above and beyond being able to do something like that. The issue with him is he's doing a high level job as a president of the United States. So you need to be on top of things and sharp and like bang, bang, bang. And you know what I mean? Think on your feet. And he's not showing that he's at that level. But Piers Morgan is trying to take him to the level of, you know, this guy needs to be, you know, put in a home because he can't tie his shoes. He, you know, he's, you know, he gets up and he doesn't know where he is, or what, you know, that he's the president, or he's not recognizing people. His wife comes up to him and he's like, who is this person? Like, that's the person that Piers Morgan is framing him as. He's not at that level. The level he's at is bad enough as it is. So there's no need to exaggerate. The truth is bad enough. It's really, really bad. There's no need to exaggerate, and not to that level of, he doesn't even know where he is. And again, based on what? Him looking like an old guy? And I see they keep doing this. A lot of times they show Biden, like they showed Biden at an event, Juneteenth event, and he was just standing there awkwardly in a way that me at 48, you might catch me doing that. Because I'm not a clapper. I don't clap. When I go to events, I don't clap. I'm not a person to be singing along. I'm not a person to be really dancing. I mean, if I go to a club or something with a woman, I mean, obviously I'm going to dance with her, but otherwise, if I'm not going to a place specifically for the purpose of dancing, I'm not going to dance. I'm not going to be dancing in a church. I'm not going to be dancing out of whatever. And that's me at 48 years old. Now, because I'm not as old as Biden, depending on my mood, I might just like go along with things a little bit just to kind of, but the odds are very low. I'm just not that type of person. I look at Joe Biden as the same type of person as me in that way. So again, you know, you show a video of him at a place where people are dancing, and he's not showing that he's that kind of person to be dancing. I mean, not only is the president of the United States, so it's kind of like, you know, even if he was a dancing type of person, it's like, is it appropriate? Like, what's the image am I putting across? I could see a person that who dances on a regular basis, who becomes the president of the United States, and in that situation feels uncomfortable dancing because, again, as a president, you're going to be concerned about the image that you're presenting and how you might be judged for it and blah, blah, blah. You know, you're concerned about your image. So even a dancer I could see not dancing in that situation, but also people like myself and Joe Biden who, and I'm making presumption, maybe I'm wrong on this, but I don't see any indication that he's a dancing type of person, right? But again, the truth is bad enough. Why do people need to show a video of Joe Biden at a thing and he's not dancing? Like, oh, he's frozen. He's doing like Mitch McConnell. Look at him. He's just sitting there frozen. Like, bro, how many people have frozen in a social situation where they feel awkward because it's not really their type of vibe? Right? I mean, I don't know. I don't know if Joe Biden's all that kind of a Juneteenth, you know, I don't see it, man. You know? And now, again, Piers Morgan showing Joe Biden on a stage looking like an old guy. He looks, I mean, if I am to exaggerate, right, like Piers Morgan is, I could describe his expression as, you know, him looking lost, right? But that's me being hyperbolic just in terms of like, that's the kind of impression, that's kind of like the way it kind of looks. But I do recognize that, you know, having a lost type of expression is not something that would be uncommon for something in his age group, right? They're just not going to be as socially smooth as somebody younger, right? They just process things in a different way. But again, showing a picture of Joe Biden sitting in a chair, and think about it, like they're having a debate, they're trying to frame, you know, how awful Joe Biden is or whatever in cognitive issues. And then this Joe Biden propagandist TikToker is, you know, being an apologist and trying to, you know, oh, it's not a big deal, whatever, right? So here you are, you're trying to frame Joe Biden as how bad cognitively he is against this Joe Biden propagandist on TikTok. And this is the best you could come up with, a video of him just sitting in a chair. But the thing about it is, though, I'm saying this is the best you come up with, but I'm sure it's effective. For those that, you know, want to focus on that and that's their thing, and you know, they love content about Joe Biden's falling apart. They don't care. They're not getting into the weeds about, oh, but he's just sitting there. No. They already have this in their mind, and then you simply say, he looks lost, he doesn't know where he is, and then you show him sitting looking awkward. It's kind of like, oh, see, got him. But again, this guy's a journalist, and it's kind of embarrassing that that's the best he could come up with. Anyway, on that note, this is the Debate Me channel. Debate me in the comment section below. Click on the like button, subscribe to my said bell. Be well.